Weeks passed before Hollow Creek returned to anything close to normal. The sheriff filed his report, the local paper printed 2 short paragraphs about the discovery of missing student Mary Tullis, and then the town went back to talking about weather and crops. But for Claire, silence never meant things were the same again. Sometimes she still heard the soft ring of Mary's laughter when wind moved through the pine trees. Other times she'd catch the scent of river water drifting through her open window even on dry days. She learned not to be afraid of it. It felt less like haunting and more like a memory that refused to fade. Her father noticed the change too. "You're lighter these days," he said one morning while pouring coffee. Claire smiled. "Maybe because I'm not walking alone anymore." He looked puzzled, then smiled back and said nothing. School life rolled forward. Spring warmed the fields, and the old road to her house filled with new growth, grass poking through cracks, tiny wildflowers blooming in the ditches. Maggie teased her for spending so much time staring at nothing, but Claire didn't explain what she was seeing. Thin ribbons of light that sometimes drifted above the road at twilight, like spirits saying goodbye. Evan became her closest friend. They didn't talk much about that night in the woods. Once, sitting by the bleachers after class, he asked, "Do you think it's really over?" Claire hesitated. "I think the bad part is, but I don't think she's gone." He nodded slowly, accepting the answer. That evening, they walked home together under a sky the color of rusted copper. The wind pushed clouds across the horizon, carrying the smell of distant rain. Claire stopped where the road curved toward her house. Evan's path split off toward the old silos. She felt that old instinct tug, the fear of being alone again. "You'll be all right?" she asked. He smiled. "Yeah, feels different now, safer." She watched him walk away until his figure disappeared beyond the hedgerow. Then she turned homeward. Night fell quickly. The first raindrops touched her hands just as she reached the porch. A flash of lightning lit the sky, revealing something strange across the field. Faint, swirling motes of blue light forming a loose circle in the air. She blinked and they were gone. Inside, the house was warm, the lamp glow steady. She hung her jacket, placed her shoes by the door, and sat at the kitchen table. The locket lay there right where she had left it. When she opened it this time, a second photo rested beside Mary's, an image of herself and Evan at school, laughing. Her breath caught. A quiet voice whispered behind her, not frightening but gentle. "Keep walking." She turned, but no one was there. The words hung in the air like a promise. That night she dreamed again. Yet it wasn't nightmare. She stood on the same road, but everything was green and bright, the trees alive with birdsong. Ahead of her, dozens of children walked hand in hand down the lane, sunlight spilling across their shoulders. At the end of the road, Mary waited, smiling. When Claire awoke, tears slipped down her cheeks, but she was smiling too. She dressed quickly and went outside. The storm had passed. The air smelled of wet soil and new grass. The sky was a clear, impossible blue. She walked toward the forest, past the place where the well had been. It looked ordinary now, just a ring of moss and ferns. But she could feel the hum beneath it, a quiet energy, peaceful and alive. She knelt, pressing her palm to the earth. "Rest now," she whispered. A soft warmth spread beneath her hand, and a faint shimmer of light rippled through the soil, fading upward into the morning air. On the way back, she saw something carved into the bark of an old oak near the path, M+C, letters freshly etched. She touched them and felt her heartbeat steady. That afternoon, she and her father painted the porch, sealing away the last trace of those muddy footprints from months ago. They laughed when the cat stepped in the paint and left blue paw prints across the steps. For the first time in years, the house felt like home. When evening came, Claire sat outside watching the sunset spill red across the hills. She thought of Mary, of the lonely road, of all the children who might still need someone to walk beside them. She didn't feel haunted anymore. She felt chosen, like a keeper of something fragile and good. A gust of wind moved through the grass, carrying faint laughter, distant but joyful. The field shimmered with golden light. Claire stood, lifted her face to the wind, and whispered, "You're welcome." Then she turned toward the road, where Evan's silhouette appeared in the fading light, heading her way with 2 bicycles and an awkward grin. He waved. She laughed, a sound that rose clear and bright over the fields. Together they pedaled down the road as night settled around them, the world washed clean by rain, the horizon glowing with the first stars. Somewhere far behind, in the quiet of the woods, a single lantern flickered once, then went out forever.